Mwah. Okay. Oh, really? Is that so, Dusty? Hi. How is everyone? What's everyone been up to tonight? Come here. Hi, baby. Oh, the baby. I have a cute cat. And he's being a love bug. Yeah. You were just a love bug. I hope everyone's had a good day today. Mwah. You were so sweet. Can I boop? Beep. Okay, I do believe that I have kept y'all waiting long enough. So, grab your Story Keeper's cup, grab a blanket, grab a stuffy if you have one, grab a pet and snuggle up because it's story time. Hi, welcome in. I stared at my phone, paralyzed. This was too much to process. Wyatt arrested? Mary missing? I needed to call Mom. What are you looking at, Kit Kat? Sorry. I needed to call Mom. I would have to confess that I'd lied about staying. Sorry. With Mary, but honestly, I wasn't even afraid of that. I just wanted her home, so I wouldn't be alone. It was irrational to think that the number, or that the... My brain is already shutting off. Oh, good God. Where was I? It was irrational to think that the offer would come after me now, but fear isn't the most rational force in the universe, is it? The low battery warning popped up on my phone. Sorry. And I got up to take it to the charger cord that was always plugged in at the entrance to the kitchen. The charger was gone. Mom or Jonathan must have packed it, but I noticed for the first time a little white envelope leaning against the back door. I slipped open the door and grabbed it. The logo in the corner said Pool Pros Inc. And someone had scrawled, Jonathan, I found your stepdaughter's necklace in the filter. My necklace. With my heart in my throat, I dumped the contents of the envelope into my palm. It was a thin silver chain with a solid silver charm. Hi, welcome in. A rose. I stepped back. This was the necklace from my visions. I buried my face in my hands, my whole body tingling with dismay. My first instinct was to call Wyatt, but then I realized that he was probably on his way to jail. Think, Willa, think. Good God, my brain is already shutting down. Ugh. Sorry, the cats kept me up last night. This was the necklace I'd seen in my visions, but only in 3 of them. It's alright. I can hear the cats getting into things. Anyway. Brianna Faiths. And the one we couldn't identify with the rose on the table. Or roses on the table, I mean. The one where the victim had taken the necklace off and put it in her pocket, so it might fall out and be discovered. And it had fallen out, and it had been discovered in our pool. I got a flash of the ghostly body floating serenely overhead that first night, while I kicked and struggled at the bottom of the pool. Hang on, I can hear the cats, and I'm starting to get concerned. What are you guys doing? Hi, welcome in. Anyways, back to the story. Sorry. Just had to check on the cats. As cute as they are, they can be menaces at times. Okay, where was I? Sorry. Oh God, I whispered. It was Paige. It was Paige. It was Paige. The phone buzzed in my hand. The battery bar was red, and I just had a chance to see a text from Mom before it died altogether. Jonathan's going to meet Reed halfway. He feels bad making Reed do a 4-hour round trip. I had another charger up in my bedroom. I turned to leave the kitchen and stopped in my tracks when I saw the hallway. The walls were covered in writing, words that were familiar to me by now. This is the kind of dream you don't wake up from, Henry. Hi, welcome in. Written over and over and over. I get it, Paige, I said. I understand. I peered toward the foyer and saw that the words were there too. They seemed to cover every surface in the house. I spun back to look around the kitchen, only to see that these walls weren't the exception, except instead of the line about Henry, they were covered with numbers. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it can get pretty dark, but it's an interesting adventure. 18. As I stared around the room, the screen of Jonathan's laptop flashed to the front page of Paige's new forgotten blog. Then it began to scroll downward. Finally, it stopped on the very post that Wyatt and I had read, the one about Diana Del Mar. I can hear my kitty, but I don't see him. I studied the page. What? I asked out loud. What am I looking for? The screen scrolled down by itself, revealing the comments. Well, the single comment. I looked at the commenter's name, G.A. Green, and then copied and pasted it into the search bar. Nothing. I sat back thinking, then clicked on the hard drive, and I was crossing all sorts of boundaries, breaking all sorts of rules. But I didn't care. I was too close now. I browsed the names of Jonathan's folders, and even poked through some of the contents, but nothing jumped out at me. I was about to quit, but then I clicked on the folder labeled Development Notes, revealing a single file called Special Projects Status Report. My heart flip-flopped. The documents consisted of a simple chart with 6 rows of information. I scanned down the first column. Scales, Fisher, Green, Bernard, Frau, and Lovelock. Sounds like witchcraft. Well, Hollywood witchcraft. An uneasy vibration began to thrum somewhere inside me. I knew... Oh, sorry, someone's texting me. Anyway. I knew those names from somewhere. The second, third, and fourth column consisted my brain. Consisted of 2 simple letters, 4-digit numbers, and then a letter number combination. The top line, scales, read BL 0517 B32. My focus sank to a pinprick as I read down the list as fast as I could make myself. I couldn't stop because if I stopped, I would lose my mind. Fisher, FF 609 K29. Green, P 0818 in a blank column. Bernard, LJ 1031 H14. Fro, TR 318 V9. Before I made it to the end, I clicked the mouse to close the document. God damn it, my goddamn brain. I couldn't bear to look at it any longer. Oh God, I whispered. BL was Brianna Logan. FF, Faith Fernandez. LJ, L'Oreal Julio. TR, Tori Rosen. The 4-digit numbers were the dates they were missing, the dates of their auditions, and the letter number, the combinations, were the locations of each film in Jonathan's DVD inventory. Aha! Is that so? Sorry. That was when it hit me. The memory of where I heard the names Scales, Fisher, Bernard, and Fro before. And the articles I'd read about the offings. They were the names of the bogus talent agencies. My brain is slowly shutting down and not comprehending anything that the girls had written in their calendars. God, wake up, bitch. So, my stepfather, who owned all the movies that had inspired the offings, also had weird, almost hidden files pertaining to each of the victims. And Paige Paulin was one of them. 818. The number she'd been trying to tell me all along wasn't part of a phone number. It was a date. Her date. August 18th. Green must have been the name Jonathan used when he booked her audition. He'd handpicked her off the internet after finding her blog post about Diana's movies. I hung my head, a wave of nausea passing over me. Paige must have thought she was so lucky to be discovered by a talent agent, and all along she'd been one of the Hollywood Offers victims. Only for some reason, no one made the connection, probably because her death was ruled a self-offing. There was even a note. But that was the scene in its own way, wasn't it? Sorry, I heard the cat. I'm sorry. Anyway, where was I? It was a homage of Diana's death. Hopefully I said that correctly. More pieces fell into place. The script page, the vision. Paige was calling my attention to Diana Del Mar's movie. A movie that had never been made. Not by a real director, anyway. But the Hollywood Offer had given it a try. After all, where better to find a forgotten Diana Del Mar script than in Diana's house? Sorry. Fluff! Fluff! I can hear him meowing. And who would have better access than the man who lived in the house? Don't jump to conclusions, I scolded myself. All of this information could have been collected from the news. Maybe Jonathan is interested in the offings the way Wyatt is, and Wyatt isn't the offer. Hi, Fluff! Hi, baby kitty, come here! Hi, honey. Hi. 7. Come here. Ow! No. Gentle biscuits. That's leaving. That's not gentle biscuits, but okay. Yeah, this is Fluff. Oh, bless you. He's a purr box and a huge lover. Come on, baby. Hi. You just can't decide where to lay down, huh? Sorry. Come here, honey. Come here. I know you're gonna end up here eventually. You always do. No going up there. You know better. No. You know better. Oh. There you go, honey. Finally lay down. No. Give me my bookmark. That's not a toy. Thank you. Where was I? For a moment, I froze and listened. Sure, I could hear footsteps coming down the hall toward me. Then I realized that it's... Sorry, I skipped the line. Hi, honey. That it had been the sound of my own heart thudding against my chest. Nausea came over me in a wave. Hi, baby. This cat. Oh my god. Where was I? And I leaned back in the chair, staring at the dark wood beams on the ceiling. This isn't happening. There had been another explanation. My brain. God, why won't my brain work? There had to be. You're not helping. You're also a distraction. Yeah. But there was one way to know for sure. My heart in my throat, I opened the file again. Following a hunch, I prayed I was wrong. Yeah, huh, baby. But it wasn't wrong. A row at the very bottom of the chart was labeled Lovelock, and the columns that followed it read MD 424 D20. Mary, yesterday's date. Then I got a sickening, poisoning... Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I read that right. Sickening, poisoning... My brain does not like to... Bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. I rose... Sorry, someone's texting me. Out of the chair and walked down the hall to the library. To the shelf full of movies that started with D. There it was, an empty space about 20 discs in, right between Deterrence and Devil in a Blue Dress. The perfect place for a movie called Detour. I turned to walk out of the room, but before I made it there, or made it 3 steps, everything went white. And that, my beautiful, beautiful raindrops, is the end of chapter 30. I will be back tomorrow. Wait, hang on. Yeah, I will be back tomorrow with chapter 31. Please do tell me your thoughts and theories in the comments. I am always in those comments, and I love hearing your thoughts and theories. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, my beautiful raindrops. Stay spooky, stay weird, stay dreaming, and don't let the Mave Cats by.